Welcome back to Sailing the Grand Line. Today's episode brings us another revolution to the story as it illustrates how God Valley was literally wiped out of history. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Little Kuma remembers the time he tripped face first chasing a bird. That was before everything turned into a nightmare. His dad had once begged the authorities to free his wife and son, saying he was the only one with Buccaneer blood, but mercy wasn't on the table. After a few lashings for simple things, like stopping work to scratch his butt, and eventually his father being turned into what looked like human jerky, Kuma's world collapsed. He wakes up to Ivankov pulling him away from other slaves, saving him from getting captured. The human hunt had begun, and panic gripped the island. Everyone was running for their lives. The Celestial Dragons treated it like a sport, scoring points for killing rabbits, with sweet prizes awaiting the winners. Garling showed off in front of the kids, telling them to learn from a master. But the others weren't about to let him steal all the glory, so they joined in, opening fire on anything that moved. The fugitives could hardly believe they were being treated like toys. Ivankov stayed firm. No matter the cost, they would carry out their mission. But from a cliff above, Saturn was already watching them. At Navy HQ, a soldier requested Garp to head to God Valley. But Garp wanted no part in the Celestial Dragon circus. He warned not to stir the hornet's nest. While the slaves were being hunted, Garp was in paradise, relaxing with some hotties and playing volleyball. But the moment Roger's name came up, he dropped everything and dashed to God Valley. Meanwhile, the Rocks pirates set sail from Hachinosu. Some weaklings thought they could follow them, as if that would end well. Back at the hunt, Kuma got shot with an arrow, just to keep him sharp, while everyone kept fleeing. Reaching the shore, they found the entire island surrounded by Navy ships. The same Navy that should have been protecting them was now hunting them. Ivankov said all this cruelty would be erased from history. This was a murder game, to wipe out the island's people and take everything they had. In 3 weeks, every one of the 100,000 fugitives would be just another statistic. It was hell on earth. Someone said if they survived for 3 weeks, they'd be free, but everyone knew that was a lie. Just something to keep hope alive so the hunt stayed entertaining. On the other side of the island, Garling had already scored 100,000 points by hunting the highest value targets. The Celestial Brats were already idolizing him. The kids broke their shackles using a shark fishman with a powerful jaw. Jenny was puzzled. She'd leaked a bunch of info, but neither the Navy nor pirates had responded. When asked what she was doing, she smiled and said she was manipulating intel, because the prize for this bloodbath was a devil fruit that turned the user into a mythical blue dragon. She could swear she'd seen that lizard before. The other prize? The pawpaw fruit, one that lets the user send people to faraway islands. If one of them ate it, they could escape this hellhole. To make it happen, Jenny had leaked the info 2 weeks ago, hoping pirates would show up for the treasure. But that wasn't enough. Someone had to lure the Celestial Dragons to make the plan work. That's when Kuma volunteered to be the bait. He said he was bigger and could last longer. More than anything, he didn't want to see anyone else die. Ivankov was fired up, yelling that no one was going to lay a finger on Kuma. They were going to escape together. Then suddenly a Navy ship exploded. The Rocks pirates had arrived. They came crashing in, ready to claim the legendary treasures. Behind them was a parade of pirate crews, all ready to crash the Celestial Dragon's hunting party. Rocks shouted that resistance was pointless and ordered his crew to advance. But this wasn't just any crew. Whitebeard stepped up, asking when he ever agreed to take orders, with little Miss Stussy on his shoulder, getting called pathetic by none other than Gloriosa, the original savage from Amazon Lily. Golden Lion Shiki laughed that the treasure goes to whoever grabs it first. Big Mom, as greedy as ever, said she wanted both fruits, still on her all-you-can-eat streak. Kaido scoffed, saying they'd be useless to her anyway since she was already strong. And finally, there was Captain John. Yep, that Captain John. The same guy whose treasure Buggy's been chasing for 30 years. That's one wild team. Think they could square up with the Straw Hats? The Celestial Dragons were already losing their minds over the Rocks pirates crashing the party, screaming that if anything happened to them, the Navy was done for. At Marine HQ, they were panicking. This was supposed to be top secret, so how the hell did pirates find out? But before they could figure that out, guess who pulled up next? The Roger Pirates. Roger himself came storming in with Gaban, looking ready to make the Celestial scum regret being born. Garling barked orders to rally the troops and protect the dragons, while the Holy Knights roasted the Navy for being useless clowns. With legends everywhere, the kids had to hurry and grab the treasures before someone else did. One soldier muttered that with both Rox and Roger there, they wouldn't last long. But backup had just arrived. Garp came charging in, yelling where the hell Roger was. The Navy cheered like their Uber Eats just showed up. Celestial dragons were running for cover, while two little punks cleaned out the treasure stash. They snagged both devil fruits, and Kuma didn't even know he had to eat one. But of course, happiness never lasts long when you're broke. Big Mom dropped in like a Macy's balloon, holding Ivankov by the neck. She yelled that she almost lost the fruits to some brats and tried grabbing the other one too, but Air Fryer Head Legend gripped her leg and screamed at Kuma to just eat the damn thing already. Kuma dashed off while Lin yeeted Ivankov into a wall. Ivankov shouted that if even one of them survived, it would still be a win. Kuma swallowed the fruit in one huge bite, but as soon as he looked back, boom! Saturn hit him with the meanest drive-by slap of the century. He told Kuma that his destiny as a buccaneer was to be a slave and die, but Kuma fired back. It was strange how people like Saturn were born with power, while others were born in chains. If he had any power, he'd used it to save as many broken souls as he could. Saturn sneered. That's exactly why people like Kuma had to be erased. While Rox and Roger were clashing over the treasure, the whole event began slipping into history's shadows like it never even happened. Later, in the Sorbet Kingdom, Ivankov asked, "Is that all they're saying about Garp's heroic deeds?" and called Morgans a garbage journalist. No one had any idea what actually went down on that island after they escaped. Ivankov asked how long Kuma was going to keep praying. Kuma said he couldn't stop thinking about the lives he could have saved. But Big Head told him to stop blaming himself, because in that hell, he saved over 500 people. Ginny added they all cried from pure gratitude. She said his hands weren't cursed, they were the hands of liberation. Kuma remembered his father's words, "The warrior of liberation will come." After all that, Ivankov decided to set sail and enjoy his freedom. Kuma said he'd never forget his face. I mean, with a Funko Pop head like that, how could you? Ginny said she'd stay with Kuma until they figured things out. She wouldn't say exactly what they were planning. Now that she's 4 years older, she insisted it was her job to take care of him. She tried chopping some wood, nearly broke her back. Kuma stepped in and finished the job like a champ. They were gonna sell it. No more dumpster diving or stealing. Time to make real money and eat like humans. After selling everything, they were starving. Then, some cowboy-looking punk showed up saying he didn't know them. The kids started chucking rocks at Kuma, calling him a monster and lying about being 9. But Jenny snapped, went full savage on the little jerks. And Kuma, being the sweet idiot he is, went to help the same kids throwing rocks and took all their pain away. As you know, he can't just send pain somewhere else, he takes it onto himself. After that, the little punks started a fan club for him. That night, they finally had a real meal after years. Since Ginny eats like a dragon, Kuma had to work twice as hard just to keep food on the table. She asked him how old he was when he became a slave. He said 4. She smiled and said, "Same here." But deep down, she was crying her heart out, finally happy to be free. Kuma was crying too, telling her to stop because he couldn't take it either. Next episode, we'll see the peaceful life they start building together after escaping slavery. But a brutal king is about to appear and destroy that peace. Kuma and Ginny will have to fight the government again just to stay free. We have come to the end of this one. Stay tuned for our next video, and do not forget to subscribe to stay with us.